Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to this latest episode of Fresh Review Friday. So sit back, relax, grab your cigar, maybe a drink, and enjoy. Hey guys, welcome to another Fresh Review Friday. And you know what, this week I wanted to try something a little different. I know I say that a lot when it comes to certain videos I make, but in this case, it's pretty accurate because a while back I was given a handful of cigars, and if you go back, and I'm going to try and include, I always forget, I know I do, no one's ragged on me yet for it, but you can feel free to rag on me if you so choose. But a while back I did a video with the Cigar Titans, and we were talking about like unknown cigars, cheapies, just budget cigars, and some of these like just these little, some of them are hidden gems, some of them are just like, alright, whatever. But I was given a handful of cigars by my buddy Basil, and who I actually just hung out with tonight. And it's one of these cigars I decided to just bust out and review because I figured, what the hell, I'm going to try it, see what comes of it. I've tried one of the handful and it actually turned out okay. Wasn't a bad smoke. This one I've never heard of. I don't know if you have, but we're going to find out exactly what the cigar is made up of. I'm going to try and see what kind of information I can give you guys, and hopefully it's enough. So this week I'm going to be reviewing can't even get it out. I'm going to be reviewing the Trinidad y Cia. I think that's how you say it. In any case, cue the music. What's up, guys? You're watching Dad Smoking Cigars, presented to you by StogieLives.com and Casa Cuevas Cigars, from our Casa to yours. Thank you guys for joining me. I really appreciate you checking out this video. Please be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and like the video, as well as ring that bell so you're notified every single time I put out another video. I put out a new video pretty much every week. So anyways, we're back. Another review. And as I said before, I am, for the longest time, I usually say, oh, I'm picking out a random cigar from my humidor. And in this case, this is the random of randoms, the most randomest of randoms. I know that's not a word, but I said it anyway. But yeah, this is a cigar that came in a bundle of cigars that a buddy of mine gave me, my buddy Basil, who I got to hang out with tonight and talk with. Now, he gave me these cigars, I think roughly about a year ago, and they've just been chilling and mellowing in my humidor. I had one of them, and I can't even remember the name of it because these names are so obscure. In fact, the only name brand cigar that I can remember out of that entire bunch was Odyssey, if I'm not mistaken. It's an Odyssey, Connecticut. Not a hugely popular brand, but you can find that brand, I believe, on cigarsinternational.com. But this one, the Trinidad y Cia, never heard of it ever. I've heard of the Trinidad cigars. I've seen a lot of people smoking them, but I honestly don't think this has anything to do with that. I don't think it's related to it whatsoever. I don't even think this is a distant cousin. So this is called the Trinidad y Cia, and I'm gonna try and, well, once again, I didn't do my research, so pause 1 second. I'm gonna go ahead and bring you some information, so please stand by. And we're back, and I actually have some information, and amazing what a quick Google search will do. But apparently the Trinidad y Cia, and I believe this is the Toro, it is a old school bargain brand, as it says on cigarplace.biz. I mean, that is, I never heard of that website before. Hopefully it's fairly trustworthy. Been around for years apparently, and it's a Nicaraguan made cigars, made in Nicaragua, and it's supposed to be like a cigar that pays homage to the classic Cuban sticks sold on the streets of Havana in years past. And it's a simple blend of Dominican filler leaves, Honduran binder, and a smooth Ecuador Sumatra wrapper leaf. And it says it should be noted that it's a mixed filler known as a Cuban sandwich. I have heard of Cuban sandwich cigars, and it uses a mixture of both long and short fillers to keep manufacturing costs down. Interesting fact there. So, and it's supposed to maintain, I guess, a consistent draw, and it's described as a pretty decent knock-around cigar for the money. So, with that information in mind, I am kind of excited about this. It was definitely a random stick to be given. Never heard of it. I think depending on how this experience goes, I might go looking for this one and get myself a bundle, because if it's any good, then yeah, I would gladly pick up a pack of these budget smokes just to enjoy. So I'm going to go ahead and punch this bad boy. I don't know if it did anything to deserve a punch, but hey, I'm going to do it anyways. Ha 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 ha. Dad jokes. I got plenty. So here we go with the punch. Pretty nice and centered. Normally I get it a little bit off centered, but here we go. Cold draw. I'm gonna try that again. Not picking up too much. I'll be honest, I'm getting a slight bitterness right from the beginning, but then again, I don't know if that's really indicative of how the cigar is going to taste once I light it up. So getting some dried fruit. Okay, I'm going to light it up because I'm not getting enough from the cold draw to really indicate anything. So go ahead. Not bad. Those first puffs kind of give slight bready, kind of toasted, hint of like toasted graham cracker. Very subtle though, nothing overly sweet or anything that would be like just super like in your face kind of sweetness. Kind of has a similar like profile to some Connecticut's that I've smoked from those first puffs. So there's that. Very smooth retrohale. No bite there at all. No harshness. No spice just through the nose. Still kind of a slight bitter taste. Just from that beginning. But again, I'm not going to let that throw me. Because, I mean, I've had that happen with some really good cigars. The start was a little bit on the bitter side, but then it started to get smooth and maybe a little bit of sweetness, a little cream. Smoke output is good, definitely. Construction's solid. This is a good, solid cigar. A little bit of give, not too tight of a draw, pretty smooth. Not a bad way to start for a budget stick. I mean, I've definitely had way worse. Some actually are sitting in my humidor. So, anyway. But, yeah, guys, that's the beginning of the Trinidad y Cia, and I'm just going to go ahead and kind of roll with it and see where it takes me, and you guys will be along for the journey. So, stick around, light up a cigar, grab yourself a drink, let's hang out, and just talk about cigars. So, be right back with you guys in just a sec. Okay, everybody, I am wrapping up the first third of the Trinidad y Cia, and you know what, so far, nice and smooth. Nice, smooth, simple, nothing too complex in terms of flavor. It does remind me a lot of certain Cubans I have smoked in the past. So the objective to make it kind of reminiscent of some of those, you know, traditional Cuban cigars that you could buy in the streets of Havana way back when. I don't know if it's something you can do today, though I know that it's usually best to buy, if you are actually in Cuba, it's best to buy your cigars from shops because street peddlers can often be selling you fakes, especially those boxes with the clear glass tops. Like you can see straight through the glass into the box of the Fojibas or Romeo y... I don't know what the cute little fake name for whatever you're trying to buy is, but the fact of the matter is that a lot of the times the street peddlers are selling you fakes, and they're not real Cuban cigars, even though, oddly enough, they're made in Cuba, just not the genuine article. But thinking about some of the Cubans I've tried in the past, which, you know, there's been videos done on this channel talking about Cuban cigars. I've talked a little bit about Cuban cigars, and unfortunately they don't always live up to the hype or the stigma, kind of that taboo that they were for a long time, even though they're more readily available than they used to be, because some of those embargoes have been lifted, and even more are expected to be lifted in the future. And but yeah, it does remind me of some Cubans I've tried, and it's not bad at all. It's a nice, smooth, not overly rich smoke, but it's nice. It's a nice smoke. I would honestly enjoy this with a cup of coffee in the morning. Just pure and simple smoke. Nothing too complicated, nothing too diverse, not too many nuances in terms of flavor. Pretty simple and smooth. You know, I don't want to say basic because I feel like that's an unfair assessment, but it's a very simple cigar, but I'm enjoying it. I really like it for what it is so far. That isn't to say that it might not catch me off guard or catch me by surprise later, so we'll just have to see. But yeah, I'm going to keep smoking this down to the second, third, and I'll let you guys know if I catch anything unusual or different, and you'll get to hear about it then. So until then, see ya. Hey everyone, alright, wrapping up the second third of the Trinidad y Cia, and you know what? It is actually very, very good. I'm starting to get a little bit of a different flavor, kind of a nuttiness, a little bit of breadiness with a slight sweetness that I have experienced in other Cuban cigars, like I mentioned before. And it is a delicious, delicious transition, even though it was subtle. It wasn't like this big bam and I just burst of flavor, but it's really tasty. Because initially starting, you might remember me talking about like some of the bitterness I was tasting, just initially from the cold draw and the first puffs. It wasn't anything to write home about, in my opinion. And then as it went, it was just more and more pleasant, more and more smooth, more and more of that kind of Cuban-esque flavor that really comes through with this type of cigar, the Cuban sandwich kind of style of cigar. And yeah, it comes through nice and clear and just really, really tasty. I like it a lot, and I'm glad I decided to pick this one. I mean, I doubt it's one any of us, most of us, have heard of, unless you're like that immersed in the cigar community. Like I know all of these, like, you know, budget, no name, or just lesser known brands, including this one. Pretty sure you can only find it online. You wouldn't likely find it at your local B&E, or sorry, B&M, brick and mortar, because I'm an idiot. I don't think, but. But anyways, yeah, your local brick and mortar probably won't carry them, but you definitely can find them online. Quick Google search, and pretty simple. And yeah, I might consider buying these in the future, just because it's just a simple budget brand, and budget brands can be, as I've said before, hidden gems. You just never know what you're going to find. And this is one of those. I think it could be. So, but that's pretty much it for the second third. I liked it. It's gotten better as it's gone along, and it's a nice, smoother, slightly sweeter flavor, and reminds me of a good Cuban cigar. Good Cuban cigar. Note that I said good, because not all Cubans hit the nail on the head, but this reminds me of the ones that do. So, anyways, that's it for the second third. I'm going to move on down to the last bits of the cigar and let you guys know my final thoughts with my rating. We'll go from there. So, see you guys in a second. Okay, friends, I am wrapping up the Trinidad y Cia and getting down towards the end. It is starting to get back to that bitter taste that I tasted in the beginning, but I think that has more to do with the heat kind of going through the cigar. And yeah, it's getting a little bit hot on the tongue and on the palate, and not so much so that it's like completely unpleasant. In fact, I'm going to take my lovely little cigar stand / pick that my good friend Steve, aka Blue Collar Sticks, made for me. Thank you, Steve. This is one of my favorite accessories, honestly. I love it. Check out Blue Collar Sticks on Instagram, and yeah, Steve is a great guy, so definitely follow him if you're not already. So again, it does remind me a lot of some Cubans that I've tried, and it had like right there in the middle, I think was like the best part of the cigar, like the second third primarily, where it kind of got smooth and creamy, a little bit nutty, kind of some woody notes in there, a little bit of earthiness. It's definitely, I'm getting like some leather and earthiness towards the end, along with like kind of that bitter pepperiness, if that's even a word. It is now, because I said it. But just that kind of peppery, earthy flavor, leather and all that stuff down towards the end. And overall, this cigar wasn't bad. I mean, for a budget smoke, it came through pretty well. I'm glad I grabbed it out of my humidor, decided to give it a try. Honestly, I would pick up a pack of these just because I think it's a good kind of like smoke if you just want to smoke something, and it's not bad. The flavor's not bad. Again, I'd want to revisit it and see if it was any different this time around, because it's been mellowing in my humidor for a long time. It has had a chance to kind of just chill and age and mellow for the last year. Really, I've been kind of just saving it, and it's gone out a few times just because I've let it sit for a little bit. Had to touch it up like I'm doing right now. Just a little bit. The burn wasn't really all that straight, but the construction was good. It had its little hiccups here and there, but definitely a well-constructed, well-put-together cigar. The blend of flavors from the filler, the short and long fillers to binder and wrapper, again, not bad, and it reminds me a lot of some Cubans that I've smoked. The good and the not so good. It had elements of both, but a pretty well-rounded cigar, I have to say. Definitely didn't blow my mind or rock my world like some other cigars I've tried, including some Cubans, because I've had some pretty amazing Cubans before. I've tried more Cubans in the last couple of years than I've tried ever, and enough to have a good comparison. This little Cuban sandwich creation, it is not bad at all. Combining together smoke output, construction, flavor, and all that good stuff, I would say this cigar gets probably about like an 86. Probably the lowest I've ever rated a cigar, but that's just because it was just okay. It wasn't bad, it wasn't terrible. It had good parts, it had not so good parts. It was a mix of everything. A combination of so many different cigar experiences in one, both the good and not so good, positive and negative. That, it's an interestingly well-rounded cigar, and I did enjoy it. It was a pleasant experience, and so much so that, again, I would try this again, and I might pass this along to some of my friends who are kind of getting started with cigars, maybe, or it would just be something I smoke while doing yard work, or if I get a chance to have some coffee and a cigar in the morning. So that's definitely a route I would take for sure. So, but yeah, it wasn't bad at all. I'm glad that I picked this one out. I really am. So hope you guys enjoyed it. I don't know if this drummed up any interest in this cigar in particular. You might be curious and look it up and check it out. I'll leave some links on where you can find it. Good budget sticks are kind of hard to come by, and decent budget sticks are even harder to come by, I feel like, sometimes. And you might get score some really good ones here and there. I've tried some fantastic ones before. So anyways, guys, those are my thoughts on the Trinidad y Cia, and thanks for joining me once again for another review. Hope you enjoyed it, and once again, be sure to subscribe, like, share if you enjoyed the content, you want to show this to somebody else, ring that bell so you get notified and all that good stuff. But thanks again for joining me, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Hey guys, thanks again for tuning into this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and also follow Dad Smoking Cigars on dads_smoking_cigars on Instagram, and be sure to check us out on Facebook. Until then, guys, stay smoky, and I'll see you in the next one.